Hello and welcome to the Beer Jerk Beer of the Week Drink Along. I'm Matt.
And I'm Luke.
And this is Moondog Rosé Sour Power.
Yeah, we love Moondog. They're just lovely people, and they do really interesting beers. So they started out doing some super crazy beers.
Yeah, their first ever beer was a cognac barrel-aged double IPA, and they kind of just ran from there.
So it's a Melbourne brewery. Cheers. That was started by good friends Josh and Karl, and we've got to know them a bit over the years. We've been importing their stuff and visiting them at their breweries, and so those guys lived in their little brewery for the first quite a while, I think.
Quite a while, yeah.
Yeah, they just interested in chatting to Karl about just the stories of those early days. They I don't know if they actually had a toilet at the brewery. They definitely didn't have a shower. They just joined a local gym and just went and got showers there every morning and just lived in this. And when I say brewery, I mean it was just like a pretty ratty warehouse in a rough part of Melbourne. And yes, they quickly got a reputation for brewing just mad beers. And this was at a time where people weren't really barrel aging stuff and people weren't using truffles in their beers and all these ingredients. You know, it's quite commonplace these days.
But yeah, it was really early on in that surge of people doing some more interesting things with beer, and Moondog were definitely right on the forefront of that. So one of the beers that really put the map on the map was their Jumping the Shark, which Luke just alluded to, which was a barrel-aged truffle Imperial Stout, which was stunning, and they continue to release new versions of that, which are just kind of those beers where they really push the boundaries. The current one is a raspberry chocolate amphora aged Imperial Stout. We've actually got a couple of left in the
We've got some in stock?
Just a few, I think.
Nice.
We've got maybe like less than a case left.
Okay.
But this is a watermelon, cherry, and strawberry. That's blanked on that. Sorry. A watermelon, strawberry, cherry sour, designed to kind of emulate a rosé. I'm not a big rosé drinker. Are you?
I don't drink a lot of rosé. I don't drink a lot of much apart from beer and coffee. But rosé's nice.
Yeah. And so no grapes, as far as we know, were used in the making of this beer. It's really got that kind of nice dry finish, though. It reminds me of how kind of wine sits on the palate, with that kind of slightly dry, almost powdery back of the palate, and kind of a little bit of tied into that sharpness and the acidity that you got coming through.
Yeah, real good acidity, and it's not a very sour beer at all. You know, it's no more sour than a glass of rosé, really. And it's got real nice, like the delicate strawberry character.
Yeah.
Comes through really beautifully. Like in a good rosé, you get those strawberries and cream type vibes.
Yeah, it's not the kind of sour that's kind of whacking you around the head with its with the fruit or with the sourness. It's kind of more refined than that, where it has this kind of delicate balance of that fruitiness without being over the top. And yeah, I think it's definitely going to appeal to some of the people who lean into that fruity stuff, but sometimes a lot of the flavours in those sour beers can get quite overwhelming, whereas this is more about balance. And it's definitely a sour, and it's on that side of things, but it's more kind of lightly tart than smack you in the face puckering.
And I think this is representative of the direction Moondog have gone in the past couple of years. So I mentioned breweries previously because they've got their small original brewery. But then about 2.5 years ago, they opened Moondog World.
Which seems like the maddest place in the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. So I went there when it opened, well, maybe before it opened, they had a festival called Make Fest, and they invited their friends from all over the world and had this amazing beer festival that was brilliant fun. And yes, Moondog World is the size of a city block. It's huge. So the brewery's there, but also there's a bar for about 800 people. There's a lagoon in there. There's a waterfall.
There's the waterfall goes inside the bar, and there's the river runs straight through the middle of it. You have to walk across a bridge to get to the other half of the bar. I think the kids play around in it and stuff. There's a secret container bar where they do cocktails.
Yeah, that was good fun.
Tucked away in the corner that you have to go and find. There's multiple levels. You should really check out some photos online. It's completely insane.
Well, better yet, go and visit.
Yeah.
So obviously, since they opened that, they've really cranked up the scale, and their beers are no less innovative than they always have been. But now they're making beers that are like this beer that we're drinking. This is a beer that I can imagine people enjoying all summer. It's not a crazy beer that you're just going to have one of and have an experience and never again. This is it's a sessionable type beer. This is one that you can keep coming back to, and we've seen some really interesting things with the other kettle sours that they do, and their core range is really ramping, and they started making seltzers a couple of years ago, like so many other people.
Yeah, they're fizzers, and they did a bunch of flavours of those. And an interesting innovation with that is they have, I think, pioneered and patented doing premix on those seltzers. So like when you go to a bar and you get your Coke and your lemonade and your ginger beer out of that gun that they kind of shoot into your glass, and basically it's mixed from a bag of syrup that's under the counter, and that's blended with fizzy water, and that's how they save money in storage on all that packaging on your Cokes and your lemonades. So Moondog have actually developed a whole system for doing that with fizzers. So they make this, I don't know the percentage, it's super high ABV concentrated fruit alcoholic boozy syrup that then comes through the premixed gun at a regulated dose to make your seltzer just straight out of the tap. So you can get a lot more from a lot less storage space. I think that's been going really well for them, and it's a really cool example of the kind of innovation that they have.
Yeah.
And then they've got, like, you may have seen over here, Garage Project have their Dirty Water series. So it's kind of along the same lines as that, where they have a pineapple and lime one, a tropical one, a cherry one. So it's those kind of fruity, but even more dialed back and kind of like fizzy sparkling water. So.
Yeah, so it's been super impressive to see the Moondog team not lose sight of their innovation that makes their beers and other drinks so special, but just to see them really just level up into being a very major player in Australia and also internationally. So we don't get loads of their beer into New Zealand, so we are the importers of Moondog. So we're bringing imports when we can, but they send a lot of beer to a lot of different places.
Yeah.
All of it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so we had a couple of mixed cases of Moondog's beers when they came out in this latest shipment. So we had a hoppy mix case, which is now sold out, which we had a mixed dozen of some IPAs, XPAs, pale ales and stuff like that. We did a variety 12, but we've also got a little bit left of the sour mix case. Thank you. So if you're enjoying this, we do have some more Moondog sours. We have Piney Minogue, which is part of their Magnificent Mullet series. This is a pineapple sour ale. I had one of those the other day, and it's really cool. Another magnificent mullet beer is Sharon Stone Fruit. So that's a stone fruit sour. I don't know if these are in shop.
Is mullet the most Australian hairstyle?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Stacked On, which is their strawberry lime peach cream cocktail sour, which is something a bit strong. I think it's 7 point something. Yeah, 7.5 on that one. The Fresh Quince of Bel Air, which is a quince kettle sour, and Laguna Matata, which is their kind of core range dry hop sour.
Named in honour of that lagoon we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. So if you're enjoying this Rosé sour from them, we've got a pack available online at the moment for only about, I think, $59 for two each of these beers. So it's a 10 pack for $59. And yeah, if you're into the Moondog sour style, then this is available now.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, but what else is going on?
Any other news to chat about? Oh, we've got the winter drop is going to be out any moment now. We're just waiting on a couple of deliveries, but we've been piecing together. So one of our favourite boxes to curate every season is the seasonal drop. So a lot of you have enjoyed the autumn drop. So yep, winter drop will be available as soon as the beers get here. So
they've all been ordered. So just waiting on stuff to turn up. But that'll be really exciting. We've got a few new Small Gods releases coming up. Not all of them are going to be in the Beer of the Week subscription, so keep an eye out for those. I think another table beer, we've got an Imperial Sour, we've got a Pale Ale and a Pilsner, so probably two of the most normal beers that we've ever brewed coming up as well.
But obviously we didn't approach it in a normal way.
No, we didn't. But yeah, so keep an eye out for some new Small Gods stuff coming.
And text beer. So if you don't know about text beer, that's a thing that we created a few months ago, and the idea is that it makes getting fantastic beer as easy as possible to get your hands on. So great beer, great prices, delivered next day. So you just head to textbeer.co.nz and sign up. You just stick in your name, phone number, email address and card details, and address. And once or twice a week, we send you an email with a brilliant deal of beers that are shipped.
We don't send you an email. We send you a text message.
Oh, that's the whole point.
That's why it's called text beer.
So glad you're here. So we send you an SMS text message telling you about the deal of the day. The deal is live for 60 minutes. It's always something really interesting, and then the deal closes 60 minutes later, and the beer ships that afternoon direct from the brewery to your house or workplace.
Yeah, so a lot of those new small gods releases will be coming up there, as well as a bunch of stuff from other great breweries as well.
We did a cool behemoth mix case today of all their trophy-winning IPAs. So you missed that. Sorry, we did Chai Rebellion last week. Yeah, missed that as well. Should we tease what's coming up, or
no, let them figure it out.
Okay, if you're into Rauch beer, maybe keep an eye on Text Beer next week.
Yeah, and if Dark Milds are your thing, then yeah. So some cool stuff coming up there. One more thing, if you're interested in the sour beers, we have some incredible high-end sours in at the moment as well. We have a limited selection of 8 Wired's latest sour releases. So it's 3 different barrel-aged beers. They're Wild Fijo, which is a classic barrel-aged sour, which one of the beers that really put sour beers on the map in New Zealand, as well as their new Flanders Red and Oud Buuren. Those are in a pack with a 8-wide glass. So that's available, but the stocks are super limited on that.
It's a really nice Teku glass.
Yeah.
Really high quality.
And we also got some barrel-aged sours from Boat Rocker. It's actually, we've got their Gers, their plum Gers, a wild table beer, and one's not a sour, which is their Mexican chocolate chili Imperial Stout. That's available online as well. So if you want to kind of take your appreciation of sours to the next level with something a bit bigger and bolder, those 2 are online now as well.
Well, thank you for joining us this week. I hope you enjoyed drinking along with this Rosé Sour Power Sour.
And if you're ever getting the chance to get over to Melbourne at any point in the next little while, definitely go and check out Moondog World. There are a bunch of great dudes making some great beer, and they have a lagoon, and a giant mural of a fish. So there you go. Cheers.
Cheers, Ron. I think it's a whale.
It's a fish whale thing. I think it's a fish the size of a whale.